This is a big one for Star Wars, because this is the story that truly connects Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith to the original Star Wars film. The title character is the one that carries over from the prequels to the original. So yeah, this is an event. This has been years coming. So I'm gonna give you a spoiler warning. The first 2 episodes of this 6-part limited series have now been released on Disney+, and I'm gonna be talking about what happens in them, what my theories are, what I liked and what I don't like. So you've been warned. Okay, let's do it. Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is, like I said, a new live-action limited series on Disney+. It takes place at the halfway mark between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, so 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And actually, the first episode does give you kind of a recap on Obi-Wan in the prequels, you know, just to set you up. So we meet up with Obi-Wan Kenobi, once again played by Ewan McGregor. He played him in the prequels. The Galactic Empire maintains control over the galaxy. There are Jedi hunters out there, Inquisitors, and Obi-Wan is given a mission to do, so he has to do it all the while avoiding these Inquisitors and keeping a low profile, and here we go. Alright, first of all, I'm gonna touch on the Inquisitors. Well, really, this whole limited series starts with an Order 66 flashback again. We see the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and clone troopers just start ransacking the place. And apparently one of those Padawans is Reva, who we see later as an Inquisitor. So alright, here comes a theory. We learn later that Reva knows Darth Vader's identity is Anakin Skywalker. Supposedly, no one else in the galaxy is supposed to know that. So how does Reva know? Well, she was a Padawan in the Jedi Temple. I guess in some way or another she knew Anakin at some point. I don't know, maybe I missed it in the Clone Wars or something. There might be a flashback later on where we see Hayden Christensen as Anakin. That would actually do a nice job at tying this story together. More on Reva later. So catching up with Obi-Wan, alright, Ewan McGregor is great in this show. I think we all agree he's crushing it here. Because again, this is a man whose entire life was the Jedi Order and it crumbled all around him thanks to the man he thought was his best friend / brother. So this is a broken man, and Ewan really sells it. He hides in the shadows, he doesn't want to talk to anyone. That one Jedi comes up to him and he's like, "The time of the Jedi is over. Go out into the middle of the desert and bury your lightsaber." Which, you see, that's what he did. He actually went out in the middle of this godforsaken desert and buried both his own and Anakin's lightsabers. Yeah, he's just done with all of it. He lost the war, so he's got nothing left. I love seeing that here, because it's really what I wanted to see. I wanted to see his misery. It sounds kind of morbid, but it's true. And of course there are some Easter eggs. Like early on we see that he gets the toy T-16 Skyhopper from a Jawa. We remember Luke Skywalker playing with that thing in the original film. So you're like, oh, alright, I guess Luke got it from Ben at some point. Which, that's another thing. By the start point of the series, Obi-Wan is already going by the name Ben. That did actually kind of bum me out because, like I said, I was curious as to how he came by that name. I know that's kind of trivial, but sue me, I wanted to know. Maybe he just came up with it out of the blue. Maybe we'll learn in some other story sometime. And also, if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure a Liam Neeson cameo is coming. Because we have a scene in the first episode, which is actually part 1, if I'm going to sidetrack. I like that the episodes are called parts, because this is like a 6-part series. It's really one big movie. So this is Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 1. I like that. It's not a series. There's not going to be another season. I think that's really how we're supposed to see this, as one big 6-part movie. So this is Part 1. Alright, getting back to Liam Neeson. There's the scene in Part 1 where Obi-Wan wakes up from his nightmare, and he's like, "Master, Qui-Gon." And even in the recap, we got the part where Yoda was talking to Obi-Wan, and he was like, "Learn to commune with him. I will teach you." So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be getting a Liam Neeson Force Ghost Qui-Gon cameo, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm totally down for that. They'll have to de-age him a little bit, but that's perfectly doable. And it's cool too, like I kinda wanna see what advice Qui-Gon has for Obi-Wan at this point. Alright, now we get to the big shock, the thing that was hidden from all of us in the trailers, which, thank you. Thank you so much for hiding this, cause I loved the surprise. When Alderaan came on the screen, we got that wide shot, and it took me a second, but I was like, holy shit, is this Alderaan? We remember seeing the planet briefly at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and now we finally get to spend some time on this doomed planet. This is the most time we've ever spent here. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's fan service, yeah, but it got to me. I love seeing it, and then I was like, okay, why are we here? And then it took me another second to realize, oh no. So not only are we seeing young Luke as a 10-year-old kid, but we're also seeing Leia as a kid as well? Holy crap! Yeah, that was a complete surprise. I did not see it coming at all. You should have seen my face when I was watching this for the first time. My jaw was on the floor. And then, of course, I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, we're on Alderaan. We have young Leia. Where's Jimmy Smits? And sure enough, he comes in. I was like, there he is. Switch. Jimmy Smits. And I guess that's just what Lucasfilm does. They get the veteran actors back without telling us. I love that, Lucasfilm. Keep doing it. And this isn't even the only case of this in these first two parts. I mean, we get our C-3PO cameo, which is great. If we're calling this Star Wars Episode 3.5, like an official part of the Skywalker saga, which I'd call it that now, yeah, then there are some ground rules to follow. First of all, we need the line, "I have a bad feeling about this," to be in here somewhere. And rule number 2 is that we need our C-3PO and R2-D2 cameos. We get those cameos in these first 2 episodes. Haven't heard the line yet, but I'm sure it's coming. And also, as far as cameos go, who didn't like seeing Temuera Morrison back? He's an old clone, which at the first you hear the line, "Help an old war veteran," and you see the clone helmet come into frame. I was like, oh my god, wait, is that Temuera Morrison? And sure enough, it is. Man, so bittersweet. Sweet because I love seeing Temuera Morrison. Bitter because, damn, poor dude. But getting back to the main plot though, little kid Leia is kidnapped by some Imperial douchebags. And so Bail Organa goes to Tatooine to request Obi-Wan to go after her. So really, I guess that's what this whole plot of the show is gonna be. Or at least for now. Obi-Wan goes to rescue Leia, which does make sense as to how Leia knows who Ben Kenobi is in the original film. So that gives us that answer. Thanks for that. But honestly, this is where my biggest problem with the show is so far, and that is the character of Leia herself. Which I really hate to say because I really hope this child actress doesn't get too much crap for this from fans. Vivian Lyra Blair is her name. And kid, look, I'm sure you're gonna be a great actress later on in your life, or you're gonna be great at whatever you want to do. And just know that it's not your fault here. It's really her dialogue, because she does not act like a 10-year-old kid. Anytime she's talking with Bail Organa or with Obi-Wan later on, she sounds like she's twice her age. Her lines? Or at least I wasn't that ballsy when I was that age. She's not acting like a young, inexperienced kid. And granted, I've thought of the excuse, well, she's supposed to be training to be royalty, so she might be a little more mature. But honestly, I wouldn't buy that excuse. Nah, the fact is, I'm just not buying Leia as a character here. I bought the kid's performance as young Luke more than I did Leia's. That's just my first impression though. Maybe she'll grow on me as the series goes on. We'll see what happens. So later on we meet Haja Estri, played by Kumail Nanjiani, who honestly I thought I would like in this series simply because it's Kumail Nanjiani. But after watching it, I was like, I do not like this guy. In fact, I kinda hate him. He plays a con man who's pretending to be a Jedi. Like that first scene where he's sitting at the table and he's pretending to do some sort of Jedi mind trick through the comms. It did take me a second, but I was like, I'm pretty sure you're full of shit, dude. Sure enough, he is, and that is a pretty good character for Kumail Nanjiani to be cast as. Like, that's really good casting, I will say. That being said, his character can go to Mustafar. Cause what an asshole. Oh my god. Who pretends to be a soldier, a guardian of peace and justice in the galaxy, for money? That's a new level of low, dude. Shame on you. If Reva were to slice his head off with her lightsaber, I probably wouldn't care. And that's the truth of it. And speaking of Reva, alright, now we're getting to the end of the second episode, when she's chasing after Ben and Leia. First of all, alright, there's that line where Obi-Wan looks at Leia and he's like, you remind me of someone. She was Alita. She died a long time ago. I don't know why, but my first thought was that he was referring to Satine. Yeah, the Duchess from Clone Wars, who he had kind of a shady, romantic-ish past with. Probably because she's a better character than who he was probably referring to, Padme Amidala. I told my friend, I was like, oh, the Satine reference, did you get it? And he was like, what's Satine reference? And I told him the line, and he was like, funny, I thought of Padme. And I stepped back for a second and I was like, you know what, you're probably right. Yeah, I feel like Leia would remind Ben more of her actual mother than Satine. Yeah, that just makes more sense. Stupid me. I guess my mind is still trying to block out those prequel movies because they're still not good. But anyway, Reva is chasing after Ben and Leia, and this is where, alright, this is a pretty damn big moment. You hear Reva say, Lord Vader will be pleased when I bring you to him. And then a beat goes by and she's like, you didn't know. Yes, Anakin Skywalker is alive, and you see this shocked look on Ewan McGregor's face. Fantastic acting right here, seriously. And also, I didn't know that he didn't know that Anakin was alive. Like, I thought he knew. I guess he's just finding out now, but that was shocking for sure. And it cuts to this fucked up face, and immediately you're like, oh shit, that's him. We get just one closing shot of Anakin Skywalker. He's all messed up. He's in a bacta tank. You hear the Darth Vader breathing sounds. And I was like, what a great way to end the first act of this story. It hints at what is to come, which is another big climactic battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. That's probably gonna be awesome. But in the end, so far, Obi-Wan Kenobi is pretty cool. Definitely some things I did not like about the first 2 episodes. Like Reva killing the Grand Inquisitor, I was like, okay. Which I will correct a mistake I made when I talked about the teaser. I said the Grand Inquisitor was from Clone Wars. Not Clone Wars. It's Rebels, I know that now. I guess I just forgot. And Rebels takes place after the events of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So the fact that we see Reva stabbing him right here, we're like, alright, what are they, retconning Rebels? I'm pretty sure they're not. They're probably gonna fix him somehow. Maybe he'll be brought back to life. Maybe Palpatine will heal him, because we've seen that he can do that. He healed Anakin Skywalker when he found him on Mustafar. I don't know though, we'll see. But of course there are also some things that I loved about these first 2 parts. Like Ewan McGregor's performance in general, he's amazing. I like the story so far for the most part, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Part 1, Part 2, have you watched them yet? What are your thoughts on them? Are you loving it so far? Are you hating it? Are you somewhere in between? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!